All right, guys. So here's some examples. It'll be kind of like how your book's going. So it's chapter 1, section 3, and so we're gonna evaluate these guys and then explain which properties we're using. So first things first. So we got to do our old PEMDAS, right? PEMDAS parentheses. So let's see what's in our parentheses first. And then we've got subtraction and multiplication. So we'll do our multiplication first. Ooh, pencil multiplication first. 6 times 7 is 42. Right? And 43 minus 42 is what? That's just positive 1. Positive 1. And then we've got a 4 here. 4 times 1 equals what? 4. Okay, what property is that? 4 times 1 is 4. Multiplicative, because we're multiplying. Multiplicative identity. Multiplicative identity, right? Because we multiply and we end up getting the same number at the end, 4, right? 4 times 1. Okay, how about number 2? Let's evaluate these guys. Okay, negative 4, same thing, parentheses first. Let's see, so negative 4 plus 3, that gives us a negative 1. Okay, and then 7. That's multiplication right there. And then plus, we got 8 times 1/8. Okay, what is that? Well, look at that. It's reciprocal, so that's going to be 1. Which property is that? Multiplicative inverse. Inverse. Multiplicative inverse, right? Is a reciprocal. So we got positive 1 there. And 7 times 1. So here we have negative 7. Then we have plus, what is this? Positive 7. Oh, what are these 1s? Okay, the 7 times 1 is the same thing we saw above, up here. Multiplicative identity. Right? We just have 7 times, it's times 1 is just 7. How about this one here, the 7 times negative 1? Well, that gives us our, when we multiply by just a negative 1, that gives us our additive inverse, right? So it creates our additive inverse of 7. And let's see how this works out. So, and that was multiplicative identity for that part, right? That's 7 times 1. All right, so negative 7 plus 7, ooh, that's 0. And what's that called? All right, additive inverse, right? Additive inverse. Because why? What is this 0 called? We call that thing the additive identity, right? So when we add a number plus its opposite, we end up with the additive identity, 0. Okay, how about this guy? 3. So we want to make 1. Ooh, what's 1? That's a special number. That's a special number. That's our multiplicative identity, right? That's our multiplicative identity. So we want to get our identity, so we need to apply our inverse. What's a multiplicative inverse? Multiplicative inverse gives us our multiplicative identity, right? Multiplicative inverse is the reciprocal, 5 over 1, right? These multiply to make the identity 1. How about number 4? Negative 8 plus something equals 0. What's this 0? What's this 0? I'm gonna go ahead and erase some of this because it's getting a little messy there. What's that 0? Well, the 0 is the additive identity, and we're adding here with the red plus sign. So I need to add what? The opposite number. So this is the difference between the reciprocal and the opposite. Adding 8, right? Negative 8 plus positive 8 is 0, right? The additive inverse gives us the additive identity. Okay, how about 5? All right, here we want to get, we've got 2 purple spaces here. So we want to get negative 1 over 21 equals negative 1 over 21. And I want to apply maybe an addition and a multiplication. So what would I add to this to make 21? Negative 1 over 21. I just add 0. Which one is that? That's the additive identity. Additive identity. Right? Additive identity. How about multiply? Well, multiply because we want to just get the same number. So multiply by 1. What is this guy called? It's the multiplicative identity. So we're multiplying in this case, adding in this case. Multiplying in this case, adding in this case. Okay, and the last one. Same thing. Same setup, all right? We're going to add the identity, the additive identity, and multiply the multiplicative identity to get the exact same number we started with. All right, hope that helps.